students. In the previous class of this chapter, soil, that was part 1, we studied about weathering of rocks. So that day I explained you that weathering of rocks means breaking down of rocks due to wind, water, plants or animals, and this is the process how soil is formed. Now today we are going to study what are the factors which determine weathering of rocks. So here you can see on the board I have written down the points. The weathering is determined by 4 main factors. Those are rock type, climate, topography, plants and animals. Now taking it one by one, rock type. There are certain rocks which break down very easily, and also there are certain other rocks which are very hard and it takes lots of time to break. So it depends upon the type of rock. If the type of rock is such that it breaks easily, then of course it will form soil. The weathering of that rock will take place faster and it will change into soil much earlier than the other rock. The second point is, the second factor is climate. Of course, already we have studied that weathering of rocks occurs by wind, water and plants and animals. So when there will be extreme climate like extreme heat or extreme cold, or when the wind will blow very fast or the water is flowing very fast, means at a great extent, if the blowing of wind, flowing of water, or if heat or cold is at extreme level, at extinct level, then it will cause the weathering of rock. It will cause the breaking down of rocks very fast. So this was the second factor, that is climate. Weathering of rocks also depends upon the climate. Third point here you can see is topography. What is topography? When the surface area of the rock will be more, then the breaking will be more easier. How? If the surface area will be more, the wind, cold or the flow of water will take place in the more exposed area, which will result in the breaking of rocks. So when the surface area of the rock will be more, exposed area will be larger, and due to the larger exposed area, the flow of water, the extreme heat or cold, or even due to plants and animals, the breaking down of that rock will be easier. Then next point is plants and animals. The roots of the plants get immersed in the rocks and slowly it results in the breaking down of rocks. Also that day I explained you that how animals cause breaking down of rocks, or how animals cause weathering of rocks. You would have seen many animals, they go and rub their body against the rock. While they rub the body, certain particles of the rock comes out of that part and becomes a part of the soil. So this is how plants and animals helps in weathering of rocks. So these were the 4 factors which determines the weathering of rocks. Now let us study about soil profile. What is soil profile? Now this soil is categorized in 3 layers. Our soil, which we see on the land, is having 3 layers, basically 3 layers. Here in the picture I have shown you, these are the 3 layers of the soil. The topmost layer is called the topsoil. Below the topsoil lies the subsoil, and the bottommost layer is the bedrock. Now one by one we will come across it. Topsoil. You can see here I have shown few plants grown on the topsoil. So by this only we can come to a conclusion that topsoil is that layer where plants can grow. Also this is the layer where humus is found, because here animals, plants, we have already studied that animals and insects, there are certain animals and insects which live in soil. So those animals, insects and plants would also die. When they die, they decompose, they decay, and then finally they form the humus. Now what is humus? Humus is the dead and decaying remains of plants and animals, and it makes the soil fertile. So by this we can say that the topsoil is the most fertile layer of the soil. Here I have noted down the point here for you. Topsoil is the most fertile layer of the soil. And as this soil is very fertile, so plants grow in this layer. You can see here in the picture I have shown few plants growing. So this specifies that plants can grow in the topsoil because topsoil is the most fertile layer. Also topsoil contains humus. Topsoil is rich in organic matter. Here comes humus and organic matter. Some would say organic matter is formed by the dead and decaying remains of plants and animals. And this organic matters, wherever it is present, it makes that part fertile. So the top layer of soil is fertile because of the presence of organic matter. Then this layer of soil, that is topsoil, is darker in color as compared to the subsoil and bedrock. Now we come to the subsoil, which is below the topsoil. This layer comes below the top layer of soil. This layer of soil does not have high organic matter, but when water flows through the topsoil, to some extent it carries the organic matter from the topsoil to the subsoil, and certain roots of the plants which reaches till here, it also carries the organic matter, but actually there is no organic matter in the subsoil. It is simply whatever is carried from the topsoil to the subsoil. Then subsoil is porous in nature. That means water doesn't stand here. Even topsoil is porous. When we put water in the topsoil, the water reaches slowly to the subsoil and to the bedrock finally. So here the subsoil is also porous. That means it doesn't hold water, it passes the water to the next layer. Now next is bedrock. The name itself, bedrock, is the layer where you will find the rock type of things here, and this layer has no organic material at all. There is no organic matter, no plants, nothing can grow here. Even in subsoil no plants can grow. So here no plants can grow, and this layer is a non-porous layer. Now what I mean to say by non-porous layer? Non-porous layer means when water reaches to the bedrock, it doesn't pass through any further. The water accumulates in this layer, and you would have seen the tube wells, the tube wells, the wells and all. When it is done, then we get water and we say water table is reached. Water table means this layer only makes the water table, because in this layer water is accumulated. So in the borewell also, when the borewell, the digging of that is taken place, when water comes, that means that bedrock is reached till that layer. And if you would have observed the borewell when the digging is done, you would have observed that at last what all materials which comes out, it is like the powdered material of rocks. So that is where that the depth has reached to the bedrock, where we get water. And that water, how the water reaches here? From the topsoil through the subsoil, and finally it accumulates at the bedrock, and this makes the water table. So children, now you can, if you want to write these notes in your notebook, you can copy it down in your notebook. Otherwise also I have already given on your WhatsApp the notes which you can write in the notebook. Thank you.